Today I'm going to talk about the Tamron 28-75 2.8 lens, and I paired it with the Sony A7iii body. So Digital Goja gave me this lens to play with about 3 weeks ago. So I took this lens over Raven's house and shot some images of him kind of documentary style in his home, just doing what he does on a daily. And I was really surprised. You know, you look at this lens and you think it's gonna be like a super zoom just right away. And when you look through the viewfinder, it starts off pretty wide. It's a 28. And it goes to a 75. So it's just a really nice zoom length where, you know, I can get Raven and the entirety of his space. And then if I want to, I can zoom in and get a tight shot of him at his desk or him in his chair working on his computer. So in Raven's space, it's really dark. So I was shooting at a 2.8 most of the time, and the ISO was really high, which I don't like to do because you do get that grain. But it was what it was. And I'm glad it opened up pretty wide to allow me, allow more light in. So sharpness-wise, it performed pretty well. I would just kind of tap on the focal point on the Sony. So anytime you're shooting in low light, like I was with a crazy ISO, to avoid that, use a tripod, and it'll make all the difference. All of the lenses that I use open really wide aperture-wise, so it wasn't anything that was really different from what I used in the past. I use a 24-70 2.8 for a situation like that. And I think just using a Sony, was the biggest difference for me. This is really great for a situation where you can't make a lot of noise and you want to travel lightly. This little lens, you know, it's long, but it's super light. So in my work, I typically shoot with a Canon 5D Mark IV and use a 24-70 2.8 and a 50mm 1.4. And so the camera body and the lenses are a lot weightier than the Tamron lens for the Sony setup. So I guess the only improvement would be like an image stabilization. I have that in my 24-70 and it's really nice. You don't have that on this lens, but it's a much lower price point. So I think you kind of get what you would expect, and it's a pretty nice lens for what it is. I think this is a great lens for a hobbyist starting out. You know, you don't want to spend a ton of money on your gear, and it does the job, and it does it pretty well. And this is the lens that is good for everything. Portraits, landscape, you know, it's kind of an all-around good focal length for anything you want to do. You can find out more about me and my work at mbkoeth.com.